reference to this, we have to remember with holidays, why do you go somewhere that you know you're not wanted and where you know you're not going to have a good time? Think about it. You say, Rob, I don't want to go see my family on the holidays, but I have to. Who says you have to? And who's your family? If you're married or you have that significant other, or if you and your home, that's family. To go see the extended family, that's a different story. So if you don't want to go to the uncle's house, to mom's house, to dad's house, if you don't want to go, don't go. See, here's the thing about life. Tomorrow is not promised for any person. So now you're going to go take this 5-hour trip, 6-hour, 10-hour trip to go be unhappy. Think about it. Every year is the same thing over and over again. And every year you get the same result. So why are you going this year? I mean, are you hoping something's going to be different? Because that's nice, but you've done this for the last 6 years. Like, are you hoping that maybe that comment won't be brought up this time? Maybe they won't do the thing they always do every time you go there. Maybe they won't make you feel like you're 5 years old all over again. It's so funny, right? So the thing is that why don't you go somewhere else this time? Why don't you do something different? Why don't you make this your holiday? If this is what you want to do, if you want to enjoy yourself, and listen, if you want to really enjoy yourself, how about you enjoy yourself? You ever have a holiday just you by yourself, or you with your own family, your own immediate family? You don't have to make that big trip to be aggravated. You don't have to. And then now you have something to talk about. Oh, it was going good, but I stayed past my welcome. It was going good until he said, or until she said, or she brought this up. You know what the result's going to be. You know what the end result always is. So why do you keep going? Why do you keep going? So that's one of the things that we have to remember this. Your happiness really needs to depend on your joy. A lot of times we think about being happy. I just want to be happy. No, how about you live with some joy? How about you be content? How about you slow things down just a little bit and make a real decision for yourself? Sometimes we have a habit of moving too fast. We don't want to look bad. We end up people pleasing to the wrong crowd. Let's stop shrinking ourselves to fit into places and spaces that we don't belong in the first place. Think about this. Let's stop shrinking ourselves to fit in areas where we know we're not going to feel comfortable. You know what's going to happen when you get there. Why do you keep going? You don't have to go this time. You can actually fully have joy and you can be happy. You can have your cake and eat it too. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, they're going to talk about me if I don't go. That's okay. They're going to talk about you anyway. If you do go, if you don't, it doesn't matter. Their mind is already made up what they think of you. You can give the biggest gifts all you want to. You can do this, you can do that. It doesn't really matter, because at this point in your life, what about you? You ever make dinner for everyone and then you realize that you haven't eaten yourself? Has that ever happened where you made dinner for everybody and you're like, oh wow, I'm hungry? Think about an airplane for a minute. Sometimes it's okay to put that oxygen mask on yourself first so that you can be a blessing to others. So many times we end up pouring from an empty cup and wonder why we're unhappy. Or you give to someone and it seems like they're not excited enough to accept the gift that you gave them. Someone has a flat tire and you buy them a whole set of tires. Someone's house or something happened and you were a blessing to them, but then they weren't really thankful. Here's the thing, they never really asked for it. They never asked for it. And they just might in fact be users and manipulators, and they know that you have a good heart. But ultimately when you press and you ask that family member to, say, lose weight and get healthy, and you want to help them along the way, you're going to become the enemy. You're doing things for what you think is a good reason, but in reality, it's a part of you just wanting control. You want the family member to be healthy. You want them to be safe on the road. You want them to have the newest television or you want them to do this, but they don't want it. Maybe secretly they don't like you. Maybe secretly they're holding on to something from childhood in reference to you. Maybe secretly they don't like themselves. Whatever you're doing is actually interfering with what, say, God has in store for them. Sometimes we can interrupt the flow of things. Sometimes people need to go through their own pressure, need to go through their own circumstance because it's their battle to fight. By you interceding and kind of jumping in, you're kind of stepping ahead of God and you're kind of interfering with what God's plan is for that individual. Sometimes people need to go through that beating, okay? Think about when you were in that situation. Did someone come and help you? Most of the time they didn't, right? But did that struggle, did it make you stronger? Think of it like sand. After 3,000 degrees of pressure, sand turns into a beautiful glass vase. We look at the glass and we admire it, but we don't understand the pressure and the pain that I had to go through to be able to think about working out, think about getting in shape, doing some push-ups or something. You have to go through the pressure, the pain, the tension in order to become what you're supposed to be, like sharpening a sword. Without pressure, and friction, you're going to be very dull. And if you're dull, it's going to take you a lot to chop through the woods of life, okay? If you are very dull, if you're chopping with a dull axe, you're going to end up with blisters on your hands. So in order to succeed in this thing, I need you to be honest with yourself. I need you to take the time to slow things down.